So hello everyone. My name is Ivana Golub. Just a moment, oops. And I will give you this short presentation about NOC in Croatian Academic and Research Network. I will tell you something about CARNet Network, CARNet organization, NOC structure and services, tools and integration, front-end communication tools, and documentation and conclusion in the end. So member institutions of CARNet that we connect are academic and scientific institutions, primary and secondary schools, dormitories and hospitals, and there are in total 3,089 member institution locations, and we connected 2,233 of them, meaning that we still have some institutions that we did not connect. Access speed for them is from 2 megabits per second up to 10 gigabits per second. Smaller access speed is in barely reachable areas, and 10 gigabits per second is in bigger cities. In our network, we have 1,020 devices that we monitor. 121 of them are core devices, and nearly 900 are access devices. Apart of that, NOC also takes care of end users that access our network via broadband or dial-up services, and there are more than 52,000 broadband users. You can see the number of users per technology. At the moment, we have 20 peerings on Croatian Internet Exchange. So our network and our country looks somehow like this. We have so many different technologies in it, like dark fiber, Metro Ethernet, ADSL, and also Wi-Fi and WiMAX that we use to connect schools and islands. We have leased lines. We lease them from 11 telecom operators in the country. There are maybe just one or two that we do not have contracts with. And we would like to have as much as possible infrastructure that we own and that can be dark fiber infrastructure, but currently, unfortunately, it is not impossible. It is not possible. One of questions in this draft presentation was about services of CARNet. So I just put this slide just to say that CARNet has more than 70 services, and I didn't want it to invest any more of your time in listening to all of them. We have 8 different departments, and one of them is Department of Network Infrastructure, and NOC is a part of that department. In that department, we have 5 teams for monitoring and maintenance, multimedia, network services, individual user access, and network development. And NOC is organizationally part of monitoring maintenance team. However, NOC is staffed from persons from all of those 5 teams. In our department, we have 17 full-time employees and 10 part-time employees. We would like for all of those 10 to be full-time, but unfortunately, we cannot employ them on full-time. Our NOC is organized in 2 tiers. Tier 1 is engaged on working days from 8 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. Those are 2 shifts. One is from 8 to 16, and another one is from 10 to 6 in the afternoon. At the beginning, we had up to 8 in the afternoon, but it turned out that there are much more need for second officer on duty in the morning hours than in the evening, so we changed the shift. We have 2 persons that are on duty in the period from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tier 2 is 1 person that is on duty 24/7. 7 days in a 7-day shift from Monday to next Monday, and it is in active duty from 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and in the afternoon and the night, and including weekends, it is a passive shift, meaning that only if core routers are in danger or something is happening with them, then they're supposed to act. Otherwise, if this is an access device, some school, somewhere, they do not have to act. We have distributed NOC, meaning that we have personnel in Zagreb and in Split. And they are depending on shifts. It is not always that somebody is in Zagreb or somebody is in Split. We have all combinations, all of them in Split or in Zagreb, depending on persons and their availability. In total, we have pool of 18 people. 10 of them are NOC 1, NOC Tier 1. 5 of them are only Tier 2. NOC, including the NOC manager, and the 3 persons that are sometimes Tier 1, sometimes Tier 2, depending on other personnel and shifts. So what services are covered by our NOC? There's a T1 and Tier 2 help desk for member institution for fault, performance, security, and configuration issues regarding the link to CARNet network. Also, it is connectivity to CARNet network in general on IPv4 or IPv4 and IPv6. For now, we do not have IPv6 only institutions. We hope one day we will, but for now, unfortunately, we do not. Then connectivity to GEANT and DWS, connectivity to Croatian Internet Exchange, network monitoring and network maintenance, then network support for content filtering, quality of service and multicast for video conferencing, and also second level help desk for broadband access for end users and CARNet employees and co-workers for different technologies, cable, ADSM, mobile, and dial-up. And also second level support for CARNet help desk team. For those broadband access services, we have a CARNet help desk that gives the first level support. So our NOC team provides a second level support for them. Apart to those services that I mentioned that NOC is responsible for, you also saw the picture and our whole organization within the networking department. So those are some of activities that are also performed by staff in the networking department. And those are construction and maintenance of IPv4 and IPv6 network, CARNet intranet, network monitoring system, broadband aggregation for different technologies, information system, uninterrupted power supply for network nodes, video conferencing and multimedia. We have a whole team that is engaged around multimedia, and also address space administration for all CARNet members. We are RIPE-Lear. And also there are so many other services that are involved with this in our department. Because of the complexity and all the different services that are offered by our department, we have decided to make a network monitoring system and integrate as many tools as we can that we use at the moment. So this is a current picture of how it looks like at the moment. We have some tools for monitoring, several databases. Some of them are within a same web interface. We also have authentication and authorization based on the radius and LDAP, alarming via mail and SMS. Measurements, passive and active, are currently in reorganizing phase, so they are put aside, but the plan is to integrate it also with other tools. Call center and the CRM are actually something that is used by CARNet Help Desk, and we are also currently in some thoughts whether we should implement CRM in the NOC, for the NOC. Yes, no, pluses, minuses, it is something that will sooner or later come, but we were thinking about implementing that too. And I will tell you now something about tools that we are using. A primary network monitoring tool that we use for fault and performance is Xenos. At the beginning of our NOC establishment a few years ago, we had from Computer Associates proprietary tool Spectrum, and everything was based on Computer Associates tool. But very soon we realized the limitations that we can have with the proprietary tools. So a few years ago we switched to open source, but we left the Spectrum for a while just as a backup to Xenos, so that we can monitor on both tools and compare the results that we have. We also use FlukeNet Flow Tracker, but also some open source based tools like NFSen, NFDAM, NTOP, CATIR, ANSID, WeatherMap, syslog, and free radius and OpenLDAP for authorization, and a lot of custom-made scripts for integration, comparison of nodes that we have or inputs in the databases of configuration, then also the optimization and reporting. I will, regarding the tool integration, the simplest thing that we can do is just to put one web page with all of those links so that you do not have to remember all of specific links, but you just remember one URL and then you have all of them listed there. But it is not some kind of integration. I mean, it is having everything in one place. But what is more important that was done is that by using the fact that most of those tools have either web URL gettable data or the possibility for text import, those characteristics were used to be able to link one tool with one results and outputs with another tool and another results. So we have integrated some of them. I will not have enough time to show you all of that. And also custom-made scripts, I will show you one of them. It is called TurboKrt. Krt is of krtica, which is small. And the idea is that here in this window, you can type either IP address or a host name. And just based on that host name, you can get a lot of information, like all the VLANs. This is just a short list. There are much more VLANs on that core device. Then configuration, log files, connection to database so that you can see which institution is there, connection to Xenos network monitoring tool so that you can get straight from, at the same moment, configuration of all interfaces, performance, and so on. Connect to that via Telnet or SSH or neighbors, LA neighbors, with their configuration, log files, and also a picture of how it looks like. So the idea for that was because previously when we had those proprietary tools, we had one tool for fault, another tool for performance, third tool for NetFlow. So if you're supposed to get the information, if you have a customer calling and saying my link is very slow, you have to find out what's the name of the device, where that device is located, and then to open all of those tools, meaning several logins, just to get those data. With that, it is just enough to know the host name or the IP address which the customer can tell you if you cannot guess, for example, and you will, with one click, get all the information. Also, our colleague that works on that, he also made MAC Krt for using based on MAC addresses. So you can see his sense of humor. So who are we actually talking with? Who are our users? Those are end users, individual users that are accessing our network via broadband technologies, or representatives from member institutions. We call them CARNet system administrators, who are supposed to be technical persons, but usually are not, and CARNet coordinators, which usually are not technical persons. We also have outside partners and other CARNet departments. We do not have SLA. We were not asked for SLA. We cannot provide it because we cannot get or we cannot pay for a useful SLA from other companies, and on the other on the other side, schools or universities, they do not usually work 24/7. So there is actually, from one side, no need for that. No, they did not ask for that. And this is the reason why we live happily for now regarding the SLA. So what do we use to communicate? If we need to keep track of users, then it is via email or via trouble ticketing system, and for that we use request tracker. Of course, there are other ways of communication like phones, video conferencing, personal communication, but with email and the trouble ticketing system, we can keep track of users and our communications with them. So with other groups in CARNet, we use, again, trouble ticketing system, and it is request tracker and instant messaging and also email or video conferencing and so on. With outside partners, it is, again, trouble ticketing system, but we use that internally, meaning that we communicate with them on other ways, and then we store the information and resume of what has happened in our trouble ticketing system. We did not go, we were thinking for years about opening a trouble ticketing system for them so that they can, report a problem and so on, but for now it is easier for us and for them on this way. And also for inter-NOC communication, again, the very same tool. We are using request tracker, and for now we are very satisfied with them. What do we document? We are trying to document as much as possible, but at the same time being aware that too much documentation actually does not bring any luck either. So we are documenting service descriptions and procedures, internal, external, alarm response procedures, escalation procedures, troubleshooting advices, and different kinds of tips and tricks that somebody comes to it. Then implemented customizations. For example, we have introduced a lot of customization for the Xenos tool and for other tools that we were working for, and also contact numbers of our partners. For documentation, we use the MediaWiki and content management system, web-based. Some of our documents are written on Word, either converted to PDF or just left in as a Word document, and we make it on Croatian only. Okay, it is sometimes mixture of Croatian and English, but it is for our purposes only, so we did not actually invest any more time to prepare it and make it publicly available, but we are not against it, so if we will find a reason to actually present something as a public paper, then we will also think about that. So to conclude, our network is heterogeneous in technologies, in different speeds, in the way how it is organized, how it is built. It is in constant development because we are changing everything from technologies, from number of connected institutions to networking devices and so on. And we provide support to the end node to our member institutions. Our NOC has two tiers. Tier 1 is in 2 shifts, and Tier 2 is 24/7, including passive passive part of shift. We have a wide range of services that is supposed to cover either through NOC or in the whole department. So the network management system that we have made is mostly based on open source and customized to our needs and in constant development, because every time when we see something that could be speed up or approved, then we do this, and also we try to integrate it with some other tools that can be useful for. We communicate mostly via email or via trouble ticketing system, also including video conferencing and phones as a normal communication ways. So we are documenting as much as we can, including setups and procedures and changes, and we use MediaWiki and content management systems. So that's it for me for now.